I've said this before, you get these new chiro patients. They're not really new to chiropractic. They're trying to find another doctor that has a different technique, and they're going to be with you for a while, and then they're going to move on because you weren't able to help them long term, because you really didn't go after what caused the inflammation. I'm sure docs, help a lot of people out there, but what if we could help more? And what if we could help them to a point where they stay with you? I'm sure docs, help a lot of people out there, but what if we could help more? And what if we could help them to a point where they stay with you? Because remember, I've said this before, you get these new chiro patients. They're not really new to chiropractic. They're new trying to find another doctor that has a different technique, or, hey, we just got a shockwave. We have new therapy, so this is going to help you even more. No. And they're going to be with you for a while, and then they're going to move on because you weren't able to help them long term, because you really didn't go after what caused the inflammation. It's not so much as a subluxation as it was years and years ago that we're going to get into. Remember, if they come in, that's when you're making money. But what if you can generate income when they're not coming in? The back end, recurring revenue. Okay. Here's the underlying health conditions. The role of microbiome in arthritic disease may be the next frontier in medical orthopedics today. So if you Google, again, microbiome, just do it. Gut health, microbiome, gut health, and arthritis, joint pain. You'll see they match. In fact, this topic has peaked the White House. They announced the $121 million National Microbiome Initiative. And then there's actually groups out there that you can actually offer up your poop analysis. You send some poop, and they'll scan it to see what your microbiome is, to see, because remember, 23 years ago, they did the fecal transplants. Fecal transplants, they take a healthy individual that doesn't need to lose weight, and they take their poo, and they harvest out the bacteria, and they put it in somebody who can't lose the weight and who's not healthy. And it actually works. But it's, not only is it $30,000 to $50,000, I don't know about you, but I just wouldn't take crap from anyone, right? So the microbiome and arthritis. So despite the variability of organisms throughout the human body, some stability at the level of the microbial community suggests that the microbiome plays a role in preserving function, not just everything, the gut-brain connection. If your microbiome is healthy, you're not going to get dementia or arthritis either. There's a relationship that there's a symbiotic benefit in the whole body, maintaining health. In fact, in COVID, if the microbiome was healthy, you probably would not get COVID. And if your microbiome was weak, you're probably going to get moderate to severe COVID symptoms. And that's a big thing. It's not because everybody's got COVID. They have these testing devices that can test for COVID. Well, what if you tested? They made a machine to test for OCPT or whatever virus. Well, they can make a testing. Oh, you have OC? No freaking kidding. I have that. We all know there's political agenda behind all this crap, but we won't get into that. Deficiency in the symbiotic disturbance pathology from normal healthy intestine to dysbiosis can actually increase arthritis. So this dysbiosis it's amazing how this causes inflammation in the whole body, not just in the joints, but everywhere in the body. I mean, even in your brain, you'll be foggy thinking. That's why what you eat, what you put in your body is so important, not just for you as doctors and your family, but your patients. Probiotic supplementation is suggested as a method to relieve inflammation and other, symptoms that can affect the microbiome. But then there's so many probiotics out there. You go to any health food store and buy a probiotic, but I would say 98% of them are going to die in the stomach, whatever acidity you have left in the stomach. So you need to have something that is enterically coated with something. I have a product that's enterically coated with beeswax, so it can actually pass through the stomach and get down and be emulsified into the small intestine. Glucosamine and the microbiome. Osteoarthritis has been studied, and changes to the microbiome were noted. Given the ease with peptic ulcer disease is treated with a handful of medications, the prospect of osteoarthritis this is what's going to happen. So basically, people who are on an antacid, they're going to develop arthritis. They're going to have knees replaced. They're going to develop neuropathy. They're going to be a hard time for them to lose weight. Because if you're not digesting and assimilating, breaking down proteins into amino acids, if you're not breaking this down because you're on an antacid. Now, why are you on an antacid? Why are your patients on an antacid? Oh, because I have GERD, I have reflux. It's because your stomach doesn't have enough of the right acid, between like 1 to 3 pH, to break the food down. When the pH is not there, it's higher. The stomach's trying to do its breakdown, but the stomach's like, hey, we got nothing. So the stomach starts to contract. and it tries to push the food to the small intestine. And there's little receptor cells on there. And so when the food tries to go through into the small intestine, they're like, no, you're not done. You can't go down here. You're not done digesting. So the stomach starts to contract. And because it's trying to contract and push the food, because it's done into the small intestine, guess where it goes? It goes up, because the esophagus is a little flap. So now you get food flopping up and you start to get this heartburn, and you're going, oh my gosh, I have too much acid, the wrong acid. And then you go to the allopathic doctors and they give you this damn antacid that's going to basically kill you. So you're living life malnourished and all these other conditions. So now you're a patient of theirs, because they don't want to fix and cure anything. They just want to treat symptoms. What the, Okay, SP, spondyloarthritis, chronic inflammatory disease involving joints, spine, bowel inflammation is common, which may be classified as acute or chronic. Gut inflammation is most common with, this arthritis, inflammatory in the axial spine. So again, this is another indicator that your gut is involved with inflammation. The pathogenesis of gut inflammation in spondyloarthritis can be explained by two factors: overactivation of immunological cells and altered gut microbiome. The gut microbiome could emerge as a diagnostic and a prognostic marker of the disease. It's like the red light, check engine light's coming off on your dashboard. Hey, check engine light. You're kind of going, oh, is this serious? If you're having a little bit of reflux or you have a little stomach achiness, you're going, oh, I'll just take some Pepto-Bismol. I'll just take some Tums. And then it's like something's going on with your car. It won't shut off. You turn it off, it keeps going. So you put some STP fuel additive in there to temporarily take care of, but there's a bigger problem. Well, your car can be fixed. You can get another car, but you can't get another body. You can't get more joints. So again, the microbiome is slated as to have therapeutic potential as well. So, and I'm throwing in some references down there. So when you go back and look at this, so other lifestyles include alcohol, antibiotic use. Antibiotic use, not just because you're sick. Remember, 80% of all the antibiotics that are made in America are injected into animals. And if you eat fast food, restaurant food, or if you just go to the store and buy regular meat that's not hormone-free, antibiotic-free, you're going to be consuming antibiotics. And what does antibiotics do? It kills off the good flora. And so it destroys the microbiome. Stress. Antibiotics, again, kill the weakest, and then the stronger survive and they multiply. Steroid drugs. Let's just go I have pain, so let me get an injection. Wherever you're going to get an injection, steroid, prednisone, or maybe you're on daily prednisone for pain. That affects the gut microbiome. And so, but you're taking this steroid to decrease the pain, which inevitably is going to cause more problems. Isn't that interesting? It's like you're trying to put out a fire with lighter fluid. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to get bigger. High levels of stress, anxiety, irritability, moodiness, restlessness, panic attacks, sudden anger, sleep disturbance, poor short-term memory, inability to concentrate, fatigue. All these things can be affected with your gut. And guess what? There's a drug for all of these symptoms. Isn't that interesting? And then weight gain. You're going to cause weight because your microbiome's not healthy, and that's going to affect insulin, lowers metabolism, increase fatigue. And look at these pictures down there, this lady before and after. Look at the lumbar lordosis. She's going to have some back problems. So let's just adjust her. Let's do some decompression. But yet you don't fix anything in the gut, and it's not going to help. She'll feel good, and she'll come in for 20, 30 times, and then it doesn't. So she's going to go find somebody else because they have she's thinking, I need a different technique. Also, metabolic endocrine disorders impairs the body's ability to transform nutrients into energy. You remember, 90% of the energy we expend is in digesting food, going from sympathetic to parasympathetic. Why did you get tired? Because your body wasn't sympathetic because it was so excited to eat, and you eat. And also parasympathetic takes over because all the blood rushes to your gut to digest your food. So now what do you want to do? You want to go sit down and watch football, watch the Dallas Cowboys again. And then diabetes, high blood glucose, cause of peripheral neuropathy. So I have patients that come in, like I do weight loss. And guess what I do? If they can't lose weight, I always take a picture. So all right, let me show you this. I have a thermal imaging camera. Okay. This is pretty cool. So I have a thermal imaging camera that I take a picture of their feet when everybody comes in for anything, whether it's pain, because guess what? They have pain. That means their gut microbiome. If their gut microbiome is not functioning, they're going to have neuropathy. So everybody's going to have neuropathy that comes in with pain, or if you're doing any weight loss or anything, take a picture of their feet and show them. This is, again, you have a check engine light. You go in, do you have any problem with your feet? No. Well, you show them they're 10 or 20 degrees colder. And you tell them, well, you know what? You're going to have a problem. Let me just show. So I take a picture, I print it out, I show them, and they go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Here's the 5 worst foods to eat if you have any arthritis. bagels, muffins, pasta, gluten. There's not much difference between a bagel and sugar that will increase inflammation and invites fibrin. So fibrin is when you have inflammation, and the inflammation is chronic. Scar tissue will start to envelop in the muscle tissue, in the fascia, and that is intertwined with nerves, and that's why you can have chronic pain in different joints. Okay, French fries. Back in the 70s, they used to cook French fries in lard, real fat. And I'll tell you what, McDonald's fries back in the day was so good. Today, canola oil, are you kidding? It's so inflammatory. They don't taste like anything. Cardboard. And then they put other processed, the oils, the omega-6 fatty acid for shelf life. We all know trans fats are strongly linked to systemic chronic inflammation are so bad for you that the Institute of Medicine recommends that you keep trans fatty acids as low as possible. There's a ratio of omega-6 and omega-3 acids. So you want to have the ratio like a 6-to-3, omega-6, omega-3. So if your diet is omega-6 and omega-3 is about 1-to-1, that's good. But Western diets are going to range from between 15-to-1 omega-6 or 17-to-1. Now, if it gets up above 20, that's when Alzheimer's and dementia sets in. That's what kills the brain cells, is too much omega-6 fatty acid. Any foods out of a box bag are going to have all these. So read the ingredients. Oh, but it's vegetable oil. That stuff is toxic. Canola oil, you're going to see a ton of canola oil. And even when Amazon bought Whole Foods, you just go and look at the deli, because years ago it was olive oil. Now it's not olive oil, it's canola oil. And so they're trying to make it cheaper and cheaper, and that makes it sicker and sicker. So if the ratio keeps going up, you're going to get a lot of even breast cancer, arthritis, all asthma. You're going to get all these problems if you again increase the omega-6 fatty acids. So that's where the omega-3s, olive oil, fish, salmon oil, all those things have great omega-3 fatty acids that actually cause decreased inflammation in the body. Here's another interesting, as you can kind of see on the left, the omega-6 safflower oil, because you'll see a ton of safflower oil and sunflower oil and corn oil and cottonseed oil, peanut oil. Oh, but it's got soybean oil and then canola. So look at the content of omega-3s, like nothing until you get down here to fish. Flaxseed oil is getting better, and then the fish oil. But you have to have good fish oil. Like what I use, it's wild Alaskan sockeye salmon. Why sockeye? Because sockeye, they're vegans. How do you get fish oil? So look at this one. Color down here, coconut oil. Look at that, omega-3 fatty acid. That is like really amazing stuff. Coconut oil, palm, cocoa, and even butter. But come up here again, safflower, canola, all the oils with not the good oil. But we're led to believe that it's okay. Some countries don't even allow that. In fact, my daughter spent like 6 months again this year in Germany studying for her graduate work on music, studying some of the masters in Germany. And she's like, oh, Dad, the bread over here is amazing. If you don't eat it this day, it goes bad the next day. They don't put this crappy oil in. They actually put real stuff in. 3, now most of you aren't going to like this. Blackened or barbecue foods. Foods cooked at high temperatures, including charbroiled, blackened, barbecue, fried, contain harmful byproducts, and that by cooking process called advanced glycation, or AGE. Who doesn't love a great barbecue? Well, everybody likes barbecue. So basically, advanced glycation, they're highly inflammatory and can damage your joints and bones. I mean, when you're in your 20s, go for it. But when you get in your 30s, 40s, 50s, no bueno. It's not going to be good for you. Making your arthritis worse. So anytime food is cooled at high temperature, cooked. Oh, look at that spelling here. Cooled at high temperatures. That's an error. Sorry, that's my fault. This includes foods that are broiled and fried and grilled. So if you stew or boil, crock potting, steaming will help minimize the damage done to your foods. So there's a lot of new things out there that you can, again, steam, do things that are not going to kill your food and not going to have an inflammatory response. So here's some foods, nightshades. We're talking about nightshades. But, you look at this: potatoes, tomatoes, eggplants, peppers. All of these contain trace amounts of alkaloids that can be harmful and heavily concentrated. This is when your gut microbiome is weak. You get the gut microbiome back up, you can eat all these you want. It's just because your body can't digest and assimilate, and your microbiome is weak, and so it can't handle the digestion and processing of these foods. Nightshades can actually worsen arthritis because of the way it affects calcium metabolism in the body. When your gut microbiome is weak, it leads to calcium deposits in tendons, ligaments, cartilages, and joints, contributing to inflammation and joint pain. So instead of just not eating healthy foods like this, let's get the gut fixed, and then they can eat these foods that you can see at the bottom. So there's a way, again, to eat the foods that won't give you the inflammation that I'm just talking about back when you were 25. Because when you're 25, you can pretty much eat anything and not have a problem. Sugar. You probably knew about sugar. Worst food if you suffer from arthritis. Harvard recently talked about sugary sodas. Men with osteoarthritis drink, the more they likely contribute to getting worse arthritis. So people come in and say, what is Diet Coke? See, the pancreas doesn't know aspartame is not a real sugar. And so it actually causes inflammation, swelling in the body. So the 3 death drinks are soda, skim milk because they add sugar, and juices, fruit juices because of the high fructose that causes fatty liver. All these are loaded with sugar, and sugar is one of the worst things we're hooked on. And that also increases cytokines. And again, do you think people who ate more sugar had worse COVID symptomatology? Let me think. Yeah. So what I do during the initial inflammation phase, when they're coming in, I use these greens too, because turmeric can help with free radicals, antioxidants, to help slow down and decrease the inflammation of the body and feed the body, get the gut. Because the more greens, if you can't eat a lot of greens, well, then drink it. And it's something that tastes good. In fact, I put a stick of this, a scoop of this in my shake today. So it's found that turmeric is more safe and precise than aspirin, okay, in stopping inflammation by shutting down the COX enzyme responsible for arthritis pain. So again, there's different things you can do that are natural, and even ginger. Ginger's been used in Asia, to treat nausea, obviously, and also reduce arthritis pain and inflammation. So if there's certain things you can use that are more natural, because that's why they're in here. They come in because they have pain. No matter what techniques you're doing, they came in because of pain. And then enzymes, papain. So papain is a unique that it's been shown to attack tumor cells and boost the immune system, but also proteolytic enzymes for scar tissue. Remember, we talked about how the inflammation in the body, whatever it's in the joint or muscle or ligament or fascia, there's fibrin, there's scar tissue in there. And protease can actually break up scar tissue. Okay. But also, if you're taking enzymes, it helps to break down carbs, fats, because a lot of people don't have a gallbladder, and you want to help the body to be able to digest and assimilate fats and sucrase and maltase. I mean, all the things that, and lactate, I don't want to say crap, okay, the crap that people eat. So I always take like 2 or 3 when I eat, because I'm 63. I know I look like I'm 20, but I'm 63, but I'll tell you what, I take these, I travel with these. Whenever I travel, I take this and another product called Body Purifier, but I always take my enzymes with me, because you got to have the body's ability to digest and assimilate. And the reason why people have diseases is because they're malnourished. 2 things: either you're malnourished or you're toxic. And I don't want to be malnourished. And then the most amazing thing that I love is it's called joint muscle. And I'm not going to talk about everything that's in it, but this is like my natural oxycodone, devil's claw. I mean, all the ingredients. In fact, what they found is that this is indistinguishable from Vioxx, but more of a natural, even though Vioxx has had some negative things because it's a drug. But I take this if I go hiking or camping, or I have he's 31 pounds now, but I have a little son who's goes on our backpack. And after going hiking in the mountains, and my body's like beat. I take like 4 or 5 of these, and I feel like I get a buzz. Well, not a buzz, but I feel relaxed. And it's so, I'm like, this is cool. So every patient comes in that has pain, I get them on the joint muscle. And again, these are products that doctors can sell only. It's a doctor's line. Here's another ingredient in the joint muscle. Mojave yucca root. It also decreases blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, aids in digestion, reduces muscle spasms, and improves blood circulation. Also, when I go to the gym in the morning, I take 2 of those. I take 2 of those to help with muscles. And when I work out, because I do mostly weights, I don't do the cardio like everybody else in the gym, thinking that if they're going to do cardio, they're going to lose weight, which doesn't happen. So it's an herbal combination. Again, this just kind of talks about more what this can actually do. It purifies does everything. I mean, that's why I take it every day. It's one of the most amazing products that I've seen. So you can go back and look at this and see all the cool things that it can actually do for you. And try it. Just try it. Try it yourself, and then have your patients try it. Now, alfalfa. Oh, here's another alfalfa. Not alfalfa down there at the bottom right. Some of you probably know who that is. But alfalfa has also been used throughout history for remedy of all types of inflammation, including arthritis, gout, and rheumatism. It's a popular blood purifier. So alfalfa is an amazing cleansing and helps decrease microorganisms, the toxic stuff, and negative bacteria. That's also in the joint muscle. Then methylcobalamin. Patients go, yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, I take B12 now. I take B12. Well, how do you take it? I just swallow it. Or I go in once a week and get an injection from my doctor. Well, you can do that, but B12 is going to go up and it's going to go down. Well, we have this methylcobalamin that actually is sublingual. So you put it right there, you put a piece between your cheek and gum, like it's chewing tobacco. And you just put 3 or 4 in there. Oh my, it's tasty. And it just starts to slowly dissolve. It gives you energy. It protects, the nerves, the RNA and DNA, brain cells, because B12 is needed for the nervous system. Stimulates serotonin production, which is the happy hormone. So then supports immune function, mood, and energy. So I take 4 of these a day, and I give them to patients. I have a bottle at the front counter. I say, hey, how you doing? How's your energy? Oh, Dr. Singleton, can I get some more B12? So I open it up, I give them 2, they put them in there. So they love, okay. Just from giving samples out, it's like I'm Costco every day of the week when I'm here, giving out samples, right? The body needs energy. So you need to be able to convert a vitamin so the body can use it for energy. Methylcobalamin, it can actually help that extra chemical reaction, encourages detox. It's just so amazing. Heavy metals, toxins. It's an amazing product that's easy to take. Supports brain and nerve function. It's the only form of B12 that can cross the blood-brain barrier without assistance or conversion. Its methyl group stimulates serotonin. Remember, serotonin is the precursor to melatonin, so you'll actually sleep better too. It works directly on brain cells to protect damage from excitotoxins from food out of a boxing bag. Like one of the worst things that happened, because when I grew up back in the day, my favorite thing when I went to go swimming, we had swimming back in the 70s, I would eat a whole bag of Doritos. Or when I went skiing, because we have some snow here in Utah, if you heard, we went skiing, and I always had a big bag of Doritos that I would eat on the way home. It was like my crack. And so, and then I found out that they put excitotoxins, because you cannot just eat one chip. You got to eat the whole bag. So I don't eat that anymore. And so the B12 helps from damage from excitotoxins that people put in food. Over in Europe, there's a lot, they said you can't put excitotoxins in food. But over here, we can, right? So that's just crazy. It also converts the central nervous system, governs the brain and spinal cord. So these are people you're working on with their nerves, the brain, the spinal cord, the upper and the lower extremity. So B12, it helps a role in maintaining the myelin sheath, covering of the nerves. So a diet deficient or insufficient of B12 causes problems with myelin, affecting the nervous system. So you're going to adjust. But if you're not treating the internal organs, especially the nervous system, it's not going to go. Another omega-3 fatty acid, flax oil. Another source of flax oil, and you can kind of read all the great things if you go back and want to read all this. It's got amazing benefits for anti-inflammation in the correction phase. So during the correction phase, when they start to feel better, we want to keep introducing anti-inflammatory components with their diet. And of course, they're not going to eat a standard Mediterranean diet with a lot of salmon, a lot of olive oils, a lot of good anti-inflammatory oils. That's why supplementation. Remember, in 2002, the AMA actually conceded, everybody should be on a multivitamin. That was like 21 years ago. So if they're saying it, then you need to find products out there that are actually going to work. Remember, find something that works. Autoimmune disease. The immune system reacts against the body. So with high levels of inflammation and damage, this occurs in diseases such as rheumatoid, RA, DJD, causing swelling and pain. Omega-3 fatty acids help with reduced inflammation and protecting joints and organs from corroding enzymes by balancing the immune system. Okay. Then the superfood, we call it the pixie sticks. Corella, spirulina, acai berry, pomegranate. All these things are in these little stick packets that I take. Also put this in my shake, because who's going to eat all those fruits and vegetables every day? Nobody's going to eat all that. So I'm going to supplement myself, because I still am coaching doctors. I see patients, and I have a 2-year-old. So I got to be on my game, right? And then D3, oh my gosh, D3 is amazing. So D3 can actually act as an anti-inflammatory. They've done studies where they combine D3 and then NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, and people who've gone on D3 feel like better because there's no side effect. And also when people when they're lower levels of D3, they're deficient, they're also going to have more likely ability or problems with joints. And here's another cool thing. Let's say you have 2 twins. Which twin has the Tony? No, that's a commercial. Which twin actually has higher levels of these? So let's say that they're identical twins and they're both in a car accident. The twin that has lower vitamin D3 is going to have more pain, more inflammation than the one that had higher D. They do these twin studies years and years ago. So epigenetics show they're twin. But when the gut microbiome is different, because they're different their different diets, they have different symptomatologies because of their microbiome, even though they're identical. So that's kind of a cool study. So anyway, maintenance phase. Maintenance phase is to keep them on different nutrients, supplementation, to keep them healthy and happy. And I use the Solutions 4 shake too. It's got the prebiotics and the probiotics that help feed them. Because again, we can do all the adjusting we can, but if we can't help them on the inside, they're not going to be around longer. And so then when they're done with you, they keep ordering products from you. Doctors are going to generate $10,000 to $15,000. I mean, how much are you going to make in Social Security? A couple thousand, whatever. But what if you could have patients that could keep buying nutritional products because they like how they feel? They love how they feel. So this is just some information from me about what I do, recurring revenue. And then there's my singletonsystem.com for practice. If you want to practice analysis with me. And then there's the solutions4.com. Those are the products that I like. And then if you want, I have an article on 6 consequences of untreated back pain that's going to cost you more money down the road. So if you want that, send me a text to that 903-7141 and your email. Send me a text and email. Say, send me the article on 6 consequences of untreated back pain. And you can even print that out and show patients that how the gut microbiome, but also how much money it's going to cost you down the road if we don't work on your back pain now. Because whether you're selling a program, for 12 visits or 24 visits, whatever, for $2,000 to $4,000, well, that's too much money. We'll show them if you don't do that, you're going to be spending $10,000 to $20,000 down the road. So spending money with me in your office right now is going to save them money.